Hello, my friends. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to SilvaCast. I'm so happy to have you here. Today, we have a special guest, as always, an amazing person that I'm sure will help you to improve your English. And today, I'm so excited about this conversation because today I will interview Lynda. She's from Colombia and she lives in the US now. And she helps other people to speak English there. She is an English coach and she's doing a great job. She also has a YouTube channel. She interviews people on the internet to help other students to improve. And by the way, she has a special memorizing technique that I want to share with you. So stay with us until the end and let's get started. Well, but before, I want to talk to you about my English speaking club that's going to be released in a few weeks. If you are interested to have a daily practice of English and if you want to be able to speak English in meetings, and have a speech in English, have a presentation in English and speak English for long hours, this English speaking club is for you. So I want to be prepared because this is going to be a really good challenge for you and I'm so excited about this new project. Okay, so click the link below and if it's available, join us, and if it's not available yet, please put your name on the waiting list, and then when I release the English speaking club, I'll tell you, and then you can be part of this amazing community and have practice with me and other colleagues then to help you to speak a better English and to unlock your English speaking skills. Okay, so I hope you can do it, and let's get started the interview. Guys, today I have a special guest here. She is a great person. She has a YouTube channel. She's helping other people to speak English, and we became friends, and she is a great interview as well. So welcome, Lynda, to the Silva podcast. I am so happy to have you here. How are you?
Thank you for having me here, Fred. It's an honor for me. It's a pleasure. So thank you. It's
The
wonderful.
pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. So first of all, please introduce yourself for my audience. Tell us who you are, where you live, what do you do?
Okay. Yes, I will tell you a little bit about me. So, yeah, I'm Lynda McReynolds. I'm a non-native English speaker. I started learning English at 44 years old. So, and that was my passion when I was in another life, because I think I have two lives, two different lives. In the previous life, before English, I loved watch videos. In my university, I had a wonderful teacher that he taught me about some books that I started looking for the authors, and I started just looking, oh my goodness, I want to know more, more, more. But all the information usually was in English. And for me it was tough because I didn't understand the English. For me it was difficult. And I wanted more. And everything that I heard was translated by someone. And so like sometimes you see some subtitles in movies and you say, hey, but what happened here? So it's not the same, are not the same. When you understand, you see like it's not the same. So one day I'm going to start speaking English like, brr. I thought like that was the way that you speak. And then for some reason in life, I moved from my country, from Colombia. I'm from Colombia, and I moved to the United States. And yes, the English was a barrier, and that was tough for me because I was very scared also to go to the elevators. So I didn't want to go outside to speak because I was very afraid. So English started being my goal, and I need to do this. I need to do this. And finally, pursuing my life, and my goals, I end with different communities speaking in English with a job, doing a job that when I coordinate teachers and like 200 of students that they want to improve their English. And because I already was a student, I decided that that I could help them in a better way, because I know their struggles. And also I wrote a book, and yeah, I have here. This is my book. So I wrote this book that is called Simple English, Cuestión de método, no de tiempo. It's in Spanish, only one chapter dedicated for teachers, for English teachers, because I know what the students need. So that's me. And now what I do is I go through social media all around, trying to help people, pronunciation, grammar, conversation, vocabulary. So it's all the things that I use in my regular day, in my regular life, to improve my English, because it's not about the English, it's about what you can do with your English. That's it.
Exactly.
That's
Well, great. Oh, let's go back a little bit about the beginning. Well, you said you're from Colombia, you moved to the US. So how many years ago did you move, and how was the challenge you face when you just moved to America? Because I know it's another world, it's totally different. The language is different, culture is different. So how was this with
I
you?
came like almost 9 years ago. Okay, so yeah, I'm old. So if you may count, 44. So, and it was challenging also because I left in Colombia. My two daughters, my oldest daughters, they were like 18 and 19, 20 years old. So I came with my youngest one, and it was difficult, especially because I didn't know the English. So it was a very challenge process. And I wanted to do something else, something bigger, something to help them also, because everything that you do, you know that you have someone behind you, and it's behind you because you are going to help them. So for that reason, yeah, it was very difficult. The challenges, especially the English, and also to be part. When you come to a different country, the first thing that you try to do is just to relate with people with your same language. But that was a challenge for me, because I didn't want that. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be with people that they didn't speak my language, so to another culture. So that means like everything was such shock for me. So it was like, oh my goodness. It was a challenge. It was like I was just looking for challenges all the time and every day, and was tough, was hard.
In my opinion, I think this is one of the main mistakes immigrants do when go to America or another place that speaks English, is to be surrounded of people that speak your own language, because you don't have the chance to talk in English. And I think this is the reason we saw people that live in America for 20 years and they don't speak English, because they are 20 years there working in a job that speaks Spanish, for example, or Portuguese. At home, it's your language. You know, the community they are in, it's from the same country. So I think this is really hard to speak English, because you're not surrounded to natives.
Yes. And you have some misconceptions. When you are abroad, when you are in the other countries, usually people said, oh, but because they go to the United States or to UK or whatever, they are going to speak fluent and easy. And it's not true, because everything depends of you. So if you really decide like you are going to do it, yes. If not, will be easy. Something that I say to my students, it's you need to be the first one to speak. When you go to one place, you need to be the first one, and you are going to speak in English. Why? Because if you go to one place and you start speaking your own language, if you find something around that speak the same language, they are going to start speaking to you, and you lost your opportunity to start speaking in English. So it's
It's a great tip. Let me ask you this question: how is the feeling to be in front of in a foreign country with a foreign language for the first time, speaking in English? For example, when you go to the supermarket, how was the feeling? Because I think could be very, scary. So how was it for you?
It was very scary, yes. And also you try to speak to yourself. So before you go, you start in your mind just to planning all the sentences that you are going to say. Could you please help me? Could you please help me? So you just put it in your head, in your mind, and then you go. And sometimes happen like people start looking, listening your accent, and they start just speaking in Spanish. And you said,
Ah,
"Oh my goodness! So what happened here?" And that's frustrating. And I heard in one of your interviews, someone was talking about that kills your confidence when people start asking you questions like, what
yeah.
did you say? Or when they start just changing, they think that they are going to help you and they are not, they are killing you. So it's bad. And it's very difficult. It's because you start feeling anxious, like I need to talk and I want to talk in the perfect way because we want everything perfect. It's not. It's tough. It's difficult. It's one of the struggles, the big struggles that people have when we move to a different country. Yeah.
Well, and right now, after 19 years living there, what are the challenges you face about your
Nine
English?
years.
9 years?
Yes. Yes. I
Okay.
came in 2014, at the end of
Okay,
2014.
got it. So what are your challenges now? Because I know you continue to face challenge about English because I think never ends. So how is a challenge you feel you see now?
Um, to progress, to improve the English, to improve more than the English, probably is the communication. So I love to speak. I love to communicate with people from different places, different words, and to try to make connection, to try to understand them and to help them. I think here I found the mission, the purpose of my life, and that is to help people to have their own voice. And
Wow.
so that's the thing that I do. And every day when I wake in the morning, that's my goal, and that's my challenge. So how can I help them to be better, to change their life? You never know, with one word, something that you are saying, you can change someone else's life, and that's powerful. So, but you need to be careful, very careful, to do it the right way.
I can say that there are people that just said one word to me and it changed my life forever, but they don't even know that they did something for me just because of one word or one phrase.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's true.
So speaking about helping people, and I know you have an YouTube channel, you use your social media to help people with English. I saw some lessons in Spanish, in English, speaking about English. So what do you do on the internet? You are a content creator. So what do you do there and how do you help people with your videos? So I want to know more about this because uh, a few time ago, I didn't see people like you, like me doing this, like non-native English speakers going there, exposing themselves to speak in another language and to help other people. So, and when I saw your videos, I got like, wow, this is amazing. I love she's doing this because I think this is a way to help more people and to help yourself too. So, please tell us a little bit more about your YouTube channel, about your videos on Facebook and everything.
Yeah. So usually I work with Facebook. In Facebook, that's the main one. I'm trying to expand in YouTube. In YouTube now, I'm working like more in English, everything in English for advanced students. In Facebook, usually I have a group that is called Simple English para Hispanos. My main focus was to help my community, the Spanish speakers, because I know what are their struggles. So I know what the pronunciation tips. I know what kind of words are similar or different. Because I struggle with that every day. So for that reason, I just focus on that. But I take everything. I like to be resourceful. So I'm very resourceful. So I just try to help. Hey, if you are here, you want to learn now. You don't want to learn to speak English in 5 years, especially when you live in a foreign country. When you live in a country that everybody speak English, you just need to start speaking English. You need to communicate. You need to be free, and in that case, you need to, if you learn something today, you need to use that tomorrow or today in the evening. So that's my goal. So that's the way that I help them. I create content that they can use today. It could be writing a letter, could be reading, could be speaking, could be at the telephone. The first job that I had here, the formal job, was in a spa. I was a front desk attendant, and all that I needed was, not all, but some of my work was to answer the phone and to book appointments with people, names that you have never heard before. That was very challenging. And also the words. So usually I said, okay, can you repeat? Can you spell it, your name? And when they say I confuse with the E, I confuse with so I confuse letters, number, G with J, A with E, with I. So that was a mess. And so, but I learned from all of that. And I know that people need that. So I know that I can help them. So I'm a coach. I'm an English coach. I take people to use their English to do something. So if they are going, usually in business, so what is the point? So people come here, and the first thing that they have in mind is to clean, to do lower. Probably they are professionals in their country, but when they come here, they just want to use their hands. And I want they use their mind, not their hand. It's okay, and they can start with whatever thing, but that could be the first word, the second word, but not the third. Or then they need to do something that they love and they are capable to do, even if they don't speak, even if English is not their first language. So that's my point. I have my website. In my website, I linked all my social media, and I have a course for citizenship. So people that they need to do the interview, I prepare them, and I do the coaching. I have a 6-month coaching program where I take the students to start speaking fluent, because the goal is to speak fluent. So that's what I do.
Wow, you said a lot of interesting things, especially when you said I want to help them to use their minds, not their hands, because as I mentioned, people go from their countries to the US, for example, and they are doctors, they are engineers, they are architects, and they go to a place to work. Of course, every job has it's important. I'm not saying that, but people have the capacity to do something else, but because they don't have English, because they are from a foreign country, they don't have this opportunity at the beginning. So, and you live there, people from everywhere. So what's the main challenge for those that related to English, to help them to get a better job or something? How English is important in this aspect for an immigrant?
It's important because it's the life. It's like I go to your house, and if I don't speak your language, so how can we communicate? So it's as simple than that. So I'm going to tell you a little story. One day we hired someone to do a job here at home, and we gave him instructions. We gave him a video, and we said, hey, if you're going to use this product, just read this, or listen. Here we have the instruction, and here you have the video. Just watch that. Do you understand? And he said, yes, I do. I called him. So really, you understood. So you know how to mix it and everything. Yes. So I came at night, and the next day in the morning, I just started looking and I said, this is not good. It was like a painting in the floor. And I said, this is not working good. So something is wrong. So it was like full of sticks, like glue. It was crazy. So I started cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. And then I said, so I asked him, so what did you put here? He said, water. I said, water? So it's oil. You couldn't mix with water. He said, but I saw it. So he saw it. He watched the video, but he didn't understand the video.
Wow.
So his work was bad. And the big problem is like sometimes we think like we know everything. And no, sometimes we need to ask, sometimes we need to understand that we don't know, and we need to learn. So the big problem here is when people don't speak the same language. So how you can communicate with that person.
So English. So English in that case, English is a question of surviving. You need to speak English to survive. To work, to raise your family, to feed them, because everything around is in English.
Apparently you can survive here, and when people just move, they think, yes, so I just need to start working and make money to live. But they don't figure that, I have some students that they said, Lynda, I don't have time because I need to work. And I said, okay, right now, I understand that they need to work, but also they need to make time to study. Why? Because if they have better English, they can have better works. So they are going to earn more money. So, and how much it costs to go to study English in our countries. So the price is too high, and here the price is high, but you see all the rewards. So here it's like you can survive. You can come here and just start going to the community that they speak Portuguese, and you will be fine. But in reality, it's not, when you move, it's not only that you move from one side to another side. It's you really move, you need to figure out. So everything is different here. So, and that's the beauty. I think so.
Good. I see you already passed for this whole process. Like you are in Colombia, and then you moved to America, and now you are helping other people from your community, from all places. So how was Lynda before English and after English? I'm asking this because you interviewed me for your podcast, and you asked me this question, and I love it. So and I think this is really interesting to know, how was Lynda before and after the English?
When in the beginning, when I started learning English, I thought that you have two different personalities. Like when you speak English, you have one personality. I was very shy when I started speaking English, and then because in Spanish, oh my goodness, I can talk for hours, and I love to interact with people. So, but when I was in English, first I learned something wonderful, and was to listen. Why? Because I know Spanish, I can speak, but because I didn't know English, the first stage was listening. And when you start listening, you start looking at people, how they move, how they speak. I love to watch people, their mouth, so how they can pronounce. So it was very interesting. So I'm a different person. And I'm a different person because I was growing up. So the English helped me to go to a different stage, to listen more, but also to be more confident, because if I start being more confident, I can speak whatever I want to say. But because my English is better, of course, in the beginning, it wasn't. So when I was in Colombia, and when I was in Colombia, I worked very hard, and probably here with the English, my mindset and my words start opening, the windows start opening for me, because also my favorite spot is the library. And I love going there because it's full of knowledge. Every time that I go there, I just have a stock of books. I said, what I want to learn, what I want to read. But that's because of the English. And everything that I Google when I need something, I go Google or YouTube or Spotify or whatever. And usually it's in English because the information, you have more information when you see English. So
and you look for more and more. As much you put here, as much you have to use in your communication, right?
Yes. Yeah.
You said something that I really believe about personality in other languages, because I think the same. I think we don't need to have the same personality in our own language in English. For example, in my case, I am so shy. When I start to speak in English, I decided to be different because I want to build myself in the way I want. I don't need to be the same person that I am in Portuguese. So I totally believe in that, because when you think this, okay, I could be different. I could be more outgoing. I could be more, I could talk more. I could be more, extroverted in English. Every belief that you have from the whole life, you can leave behind and then just use the new skills you have, the new personality you have. Of course, you don't need to be a different person. You can have the same values. You can be an honest person. You can be everything that you are, but you can act differently in the new language. I think this helps people to improve, because you don't need to be attached to your old beliefs, your, to things that you want to be different. Like, I'm shy, but I don't want to be shy. So I can create a new Fred now because I am speaking another language. So, and course,
also because you are growing.
Yeah. And each language, it could be different. For example, in Spanish, when I'm speaking Spanish, I'm more like energetic, because the language is more energetic. So in Portuguese, I'm more quiet. In English, I'm more polite and more, but always outgoing. So I think there are 3 Freds, and could be more if I speak more languages.
Of course, and you will. And when I came to the United States, some words that I love, it's welcome. Because yes, because in Colombia, so every time that someone said thank you, you usually don't say thank you. You don't say welcome. You said, oh, it's okay.
No pasa nada.
Nothing to say. Yes. And here, no, welcome. So de nada, es un placer. So you said, I love that one. So
it's my pleasure.
Yeah, it is, and it's fun. It's nice.
So welcome is your favorite word in English?
Oh, I have too many. I have
Please,
I have
tell me about it.
I have infatuated. Infatuated. Do you know what is infatuated? When you infatuate for someone, encaprichado, that you love, probably you don't love. It's just like it's something that embellishes you, that you see and we said, oh, it's astonishing. It's beautiful. I have so many. I love to take some word that I said, I like this word, the way that it sounds. Thinking about another one, because I have so many. And now I don't, probably in the conversation, I will tell you, oh, I love this one.
How about expressions? Do you have a favorite that in English it's interesting?
So many, but depends of the day. So
that is one that I love.
My husband, he doesn't speak Spanish. He's learning Spanish now. And
is he American?
Sometimes he said, yes, is he? Yeah, he is. So sometimes he said, what did you say? So every day, repeat that one. And go to my arm. So today it's morning, so I didn't have time to write anything here, but usually I do.
Please explain that, because people want to know what are you talking about, because I know, because we talked about this before. But please tell me a little bit about this technique that you use to...
This is a strategy. This is a secret. No, but it's a it's a tip. I told you I love tips. And one of the ways that I learn, every time that I'm learning, I'm speaking, reading, or talking to someone, if they say some word that I like, so I just put it here. Stack. In one of these days, we were talking about like when you stack something, when you encaletas, when you hide something, that you have some money or something. And so we start looking for the word. And finally one lady said, oh, do you mean like stack, when you stack stuff? And yes, stack, but I didn't use that word like that, so I just write it here, stack. I write during the day, I write some different words or words that I don't know on my armpit. And during the day, every time that I'm doing something, usually I don't use sweaters or sweatshirts. So every time that I'm doing something, probably I'm taking my phone. If I take my phone, look what I'm doing. So I just have this naked. So I just, oh, the word. So I remember the word and I start practicing and making sentences. At the end of the day, I should know the words, but sometimes no. So the following day, before I take a shower, I check my arm. And I said, okay, I can delete this today, or no. So if the word is very difficult, I have a pen on my bathroom. So in the bathroom. So I just start again. I just put it again, louder. And that's it. And then until it's done, until it's on my mind. So at that point, I don't need more. I will need another word or another sentence. That's...
Guys, this is a great way to use what you are learning, because sometimes we just learn, we don't use it, and then we forget. So when you put in a place and you can look at that all day and see and use it, you won't forget it. I think this is really cool. I love your technique. So I don't know if you have a name for it, but if you don't have, create a name.
But I'm telling you, it's dangerous sometimes, because last time I went to the library to ask something to the guy, and he didn't know if look to my eyes or look to my arm. He was looking, and I said, oh. And then, Carl, don't worry, that's my technique to learn to remember words. She said, oh, no, don't worry, Lynda, don't worry. And I said, yeah, I know. So, but people have tattoos, so I can have things on my arms. Yes.
For sure. And maybe if you have a word that you want to remember forever, maybe you can have a tattoo as well.
Oh, no. I don't.
I'm just kidding. It's not my thing as well.
Yeah, me neither.
So speaking about favorite words, I just want to say my favorite. I love the word unstoppable, because of the meaning of the word unstoppable. You are unstoppable. I saw this in a video, in a motivation video, and I got like, wow, this word is amazing. So all the time I like to say this word. In an expression?
I have one word that is not a word that I knew, that is new for me. It's a word that every time that I was talking to this week, when I was talking to my husband, I figured that when I said, what was the word? Okay. I usually said, Mike, unfortunately, and he said,
unfortunately.
What did you say? And I said, unfortunately. Finally, I said, why you don't understand? He said, because it's not unfortunately, it's like you said, unfortunately. And I said, oh, so now I'm so happy with that word. And every time that I can speak about unfortunately, I said, and I use my hands, unfortunately. And I love that. So yes, it's a kind of word. Yes. Unstoppable. Yes, I love unstoppable.
I struggle with this word for a long time. A lot of times I was trying to say that. No.
With unstoppable?
No. Unfortunately, yeah, it was hard to say. because I have a special problem with long words, you know. For me, it's hard to say.
Because of the accent. Because you don't know where to accent the syllable. What syllable to accent?
Yeah, it's a lot of syllables to pronounce, and you don't know where you will emphasize, where is going to be the high pitch and everything. Yeah. So, and this is a good thing to talk about because we both study pronunciation, right? So, tell me a little bit about this. Why did you decide to study pronunciation, and how you are going in this aspect?
Oh my goodness, I can tell you. So part of my personality, it's I love to have challenges. I love to take risks, to do different stuff. So right now I have a fitness coaching, like he's helping me with my body. I have a business coach. I have, and one of the things that I was very obsessed was about pronunciation. And why? Because I coordinate students and teachers, so I can go one day and I have multiple things, people to talk. And usually I try to engage them, to help them. Hey, just encourage them to start speaking. And sometimes I say a word and they said, like before I said, like say money. And one guy was looking at me and he said, money? Or money? And I said, oh my goodness, yeah, he's right. It's money. It's not money. So, but that in the beginning, that caused me, like, it was a shock because I was a teacher. So I was the person who's supposed to know very well. And finally I said, no, I'm in the same way that you. And every day I learn something new. And I love that. But it's sorry, I get lost. I get lost with what I was talking.
Oh, no problem. You just are talking about the guy that it's money or money or money.
Yeah, but what's the main question? Why I was talking about that? I don't know.
No, I just asked about pronunciation. About pronunciation because we both studied pronunciation now, and
okay, yes.
The reasons and everything.
Yeah, that was part of, okay, I want to improve. And more than improve, I want to have the tools to help other people. Because if I understand, if I know where should I put the tip of the tongue, I can tell them, hey, yes, I did that, but you can do this, and this is the way. So yeah, for that reason, I start doing the pronunciation. I try to learn every day. I have motivational coaches.
What?
So motivational coaches, like I do some programs with Tony Robbins. I
love that guy. I love that guy. So
it's like take pieces.
The best book that I have read is from him.
What book?
Unlimited Power.
Unlimited Power. Yes.
It's
and
amazing.
His programs are awesome. Yes. Yeah. Everything.
A little bit expensive, I think.
It is. But at the end, when you start this journey, finally you start figuring that it's not about money.
Yeah.
It's about your mindset. You are going to find whatever you want. You just need to put it here and put a date. Put it in your calendar and said, okay, I'm going to do this. And money, it's coming. Don't worry, but it's coming. So yeah.
You have a mindset that I love. It's a really good mindset. And you don't think about the problem. You think about the solution. You think about, I will make this happen. So this for our English learners is so important because you don't need to put excuses. You need to just do it. You need to just find a way, right?
Yeah. So it's like multiple of our students or our peers, they are scared to talk. But how you can learn to ride a bicycle if you don't put yourself on the bicycle?
Go outside and try it.
So are you able to be a pilot in a plane, if you just, or are you going to sit with them? If you just know that they learn because they know a lot of the tools, or no, you just need to go inside. You just need to go deep and jump into the pool. So you cannot learn to swim if you don't jump into the pool. If you are not in the water and the water is until here, so you are not going to learn. So it's...
Yeah, English and life is so similar.
Goals, everything that you're doing in life is the same, and English is just one more goal that,
or tool that you can use it.
Yes, it's a tool. Yeah, in reality, it's a tool. It's what can you use with that to get to some points, and the doors are going to open for you if you learn English, if you speak more English.
Tell me about this. I will ask you about pronunciation in a second, but I want to know about this first. I see a lot of people saying, I want to be fluent in English. I want to speak fluently. What do you think is fluency for you, like English fluency?
Fluency is when I can speak about my thoughts with freedom, when I don't need to think about the words, when I just go with the flow. So it's the same that when you swim, it's automatic. It's not perfect because probably you put your hand in this side, but you are swimming. So it's the same. So when you are speaking, the communication need to be fluent. When you read, you need to communicate to yourself in a fluent way. It's not like you are reading and when you stop word by word, you are not fluent. You're just reading words. You are not comprehending. So it's, to be fluent, it's to just go to the flow, just start speaking naturally with your emotions, not just reading, not just repeating some stuff that you already have. So that's
yeah. I asked this because I saw a lot of people saying when I become fluent, I will get a better job. When I become fluent, I will speak better. I will move to the US, whatever. But they forget that they need to use the language to be fluent. They need to communicate themselves in the way they can. As you mentioned, it's about the flow. It's about communication self. It's not about being perfect, right? So, and I saw a lot of people doing that. Like, I need to be perfect. I need to speak in a way that everybody will not just understand, but it's going to be like a native. Like, for example, when you lost your thoughts before, I like what you said. You said, "Oh, I lost my thoughts." What we are talking about. People in that situation, they just get stuck because they don't know what they will say. But it's okay. Everybody, even in our native language, we forget what we are talking. So it's normal. It's we don't need to be perfect to speak English fluently, right?
And it's fun because in that case, you can think like, oh, that person is not fluent. And it's the other side. So you just forgot because you went to another place.
Yeah.
But then you said, hey, what was the question? So I just need to go back.
We do this in Portuguese and Spanish all the time. We are talking, okay, I forgot what I was saying. What's that word? It's normal. And now I think I forget more things in Portuguese than in English because I'm using English more,
Happened.
So it's normal. It's normal. And
I'm going to tell you, I usually think like, and I tell the students, so like we have a basket in our brain. Okay. It's a basket. And everything that you are learning, you're just putting words, putting idioms, putting things there. But what happened when you don't use? So what happened with all the papers? So because they are like papers, they just go like. But what happened when you start using? They start flowing. So when you try to find a word, so one paper is going outside, one paper is going outside. And then because they are all around, when you're speaking, because they are in movement, So you just take one and take the other and take the other. So it's practice. If you don't practice, everything is going to settle down. That's not the idea.
It's a great analogy. I love it. I love it. Okay, let me ask you something about pronunciation that I said I will ask you. What is your main challenge now about pronunciation, or that you had in the past, or that you have now? What's the sound?
The vowels, especially the A. Oh no, too. The A sound for me, especially for me, because I couldn't hear the difference, or the E. Yeah. Now I understand and I can see the difference between bit and beat. So things like that. But something that is still my challenge is the flap T. It's when I said patty, when I say, the flap T,
I love it.
Before, you know what word was very difficult? Water. Oh my God.
Water, yeah.
I cannot imagine how many times water was. Still, I go to the restaurant and I said, water, and I look at people when they don't say anything. I said, yes, I did it. Because it was crazy. Sometimes people start saying, excuse me, wine? And I said, wine? What is the relationship between wine and water? But I have multiple. But right now the flap T is, oh my goodness.
I love the flap T. For me was a challenge as well. But I noticed that when I start to do it properly, my English start to become more natural, because I lose a little bit about my accent in Portuguese, because in Brazil we don't say water, we say water or something like that, but I love, because it's so American, the sound, but it's not easy to master it. Not at all.
So especially, I think for Spanish speaker is difficult, but yeah.
I would ask this: what's the main sound that is challenge for Spanish speakers? Flap T?
Yes, I think so. So I think that, and the vowels. The vowels, because our vowels are very clear. A, E, I, O, U, and doesn't matter what you put the tongue. So here you just need to start using your tongue in different ways. So yeah.
What sound do you think?
V. Yeah.
Or the V. The V, I know, because you guys changed the V for a B, right?
Yes, usually people they don't know how to pronounce the V. The V. V is the difficult one. Yes. And I had another one that I was thinking. Okay, some people, they forget the end of the words. Like ciudad. Instead of said ciudad, they said ciudad. So of course, when they are going to speak in English and they said fake, they don't say fake. They said fake. Fake. Or they miss the last consonant. Yeah.
Good. As a Brazilian, I struggle with the D in the end of words, because we don't have it so often. So
in Spanish, for example, usually we don't have
verbs in the past sentence. It's hard to say. Like, for example, study. Like, it's so tight, tiny at the difference, but sometimes we just drop it. We don't say it.
Yes. Yeah. The same in Spanish. Yeah.
Good.
That part is difficult. So many parts are difficult, are not easy, but it's practice. Of course, you cannot think that you are going to learn or you are going to speak if you don't have a structure. You also need a structure. You also need something. Sure. So it's not just start speaking. So I have one person that she called me like 2 weeks ago. She said, Lynda, the only thing is I want just to speak. I want to improve my speaking, just speaking. I said, yes, but you need structure. You also need. It's not only important to say yes. It's part. And I interviewed someone also telling me about grammar. And he said, I start learning first grammar in Spanish, and that helped me to learn in English. And I said, that makes sense. So it's not, I believe like every student needs to have a grammar book also. That's something that I believe. Not to go and make the drills and fill the blanks. No, but I think it's important because sometimes you just need to understand why you put this here or this here. And that's something that I like to do on YouTube or on Facebook in my reels. I like to give that tips. But just because I really want people to understand what is behind that. It's not, oh, you said this word in this way. No, it's understand why you need to say that word in that way.
And by the way, the links is going to be on the description for Lynda's social medias for you guys. Take a look at the videos. I saw motivation videos. I saw videos that you, as you mentioned, you give small tips for people use it on a daily basis. And I love that because I was thinking about somebody will going to a job interview. They can get this and use it, in real life. And that makes a lot of difference.
To use the stuff now. You need to learn the vocabulary that you like now, that you can use it now. It's,
For sure. So speaking about this, Lynda, how can people find you? What are your social medias? And for those that want to know more about you, about your job and everything.
The main place is my website, like it's lindamcreynolds.com. I have all the links there. Or I'm in Facebook, Instagram, by Lynda MCR. I thought like in the beginning it was difficult for me, the spelling. So finally I said, by Lynda MCR. So I like that. So
good. Thank you so much.
Lynda MCR in YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook. I have a group on Facebook for Spanish speakers. Like it's the Simple English para Hispanos. And in Amazon they can find my book. So different places.
I was curious about this. So I'm interested in your book because I think it's going to be a good way to to improve. It's just in Spanish, or we have in another language too?
It's just in Spanish. Only one chapter in English for teachers, but the rest is in Spanish. It's a combination between my experiences, the lesson that I already learned, and something a little bit about science, because I think we need to have proofs. Some proofs are important because sometimes with that we said, okay, yes, you can understand better, and if you have something behind the science, sometimes that's very helpful for our learning process. So I think it's nice. I love the book.
Great. My friend, I always ask this question for everybody that I interview, and I want to know your thoughts about it. If you could give just one piece of advice to an English student that are stuck right now, they are not speaking, they need more resources, they are stuck. So what you would say? Just one piece of advice.
Have faith. Have faith. Have faith in yourself. You can do everything that you want. Everything is possible. It's there. If you can see it, you can get there. That's faith. That's it.
I have heard this in a book, like if your mind can conceive, you can achieve. I think it's grown. I can't remember the name. It's like Think and Grow Rich.
Oh, yes. Think and Grow Rich.
I have this book in Portuguese here. So it's a profound thing. I love it. I love it. So Lynda, thank you so much for being with me today. It was a pleasure to interview you and to be interviewed by you. So nice to meet you, and we share beautiful lessons with us today. And thanks for your generosity.
Thanks for having me. That was wonderful. That was a wonderful experience.
It was like friends talking. So I love it. I love it.
That's the best part of this. And yes, so I will hope to see you soon, also here.
Me too. And guys, just click the links below and see Lynda's work. I think you love it. So, Lynda, thanks again. And guys, I'll see you in the next episode. God bless all of you. See you there. Bye bye.
Thank you.